PlayStation's internal studios have felt kind of stagnant for the past couple years. What do I mean? Let's talk about it. Hello there everybody and welcome to The Comfy Spot. My name is Tyler and today we're going to be talking about why I feel like there's a sense of stagnation when it comes to the games that have been released from PlayStation's first party internal studios. Now, don't get me wrong, they've put out a lot of amazing games this generation. I mean, we have Guerrilla over here absolutely killing it with the Horizon series, with Horizon Forbidden West and the DLC for that. We have Sony Santa Monica putting out a certified banger with God of War Ragnarok and the Valhalla DLC last year. And then of course we have the just absolute MVPs of the PS5 generation, that being Insomniac, and just how they've been putting out this steady cadence of absolutely amazing games with Spider-Man Miles Morales, and then Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and then Spider-Man 2. Like, they've just been absolutely killing it. There's been so many great games, but at the same time, it's also been a bit disappointing for me personally, because we haven't really seen too many fresh ideas come out of PlayStation's first party studios this generation, specifically from their more bigger internal teams that they have. And like, you know, when you think about it, like ever since 2016, Naughty Dog, for example, who some may say are no longer like the crown jewel in Sony's first party studio lineup here, ever since 2016, Naughty Dog has been in the world of The Last of Us. You know, they put out the sequel in 2020, and then they put out a remaster and a remake of the first game, and then they were working on the multiplayer game for Last of Us Factions, which got canceled notoriously. So like all those years just kind of gone with the wind essentially. And you know, like what's going on with that? Like, it's kind of like, man, you guys have been stuck in a well, stuck over there. Guerrilla, again, they've been in the Horizon universe since 2017, and it doesn't seem like that's going to be changing anytime soon, because there's clearly going to be a third game. And you know, there's already plans, or at least there might still be plans for a potential multiplayer game, at least one of them. Who knows? Sucker Punch, you know, of the big internal studios that PlayStation has, they've put out the most recent new IP, that being Ghost of Tsushima, which was excellent. And the thing is, we could reasonably imagine, though, we could reasonably predict that they're working on a sequel to that. So no new IP from them anytime soon. And then, you know, again, although I said Insomniac is like the pride and joy, they've been the MVP of the PS5 generation, I'm not too thrilled at the prospect of, you know, based off of the Insomniac hack that happened at the end of last year, I'm not too thrilled at the idea of them potentially working on mainly Marvel games for the foreseeable future after Marvel's Wolverine and, you know, the all but, you know, confirmed Spider-Man 3. That's not a leak or anything. If you played the second one, you know a third one's gonna be coming. So like, you know, it's just a thing where I'm like, man, you guys, I love all these games, but I would love to see some new ideas from you all. And I want to make it very, very clear right now, I'm not blaming the studios for this. I'm not blaming Naughty Dog. I'm not blaming Guerrilla, Sony Santa Monica, Sucker Punch, Insomniac. I'm not blaming any of them for this situation, this circumstance at all. Like, it's definitely a situation born from multiple different factors, you know. For one, there is the fact that games simply take much longer to make these days than they used to. You know, like, it is really hard to believe and very surreal to think that, man, between 2007 and 2011, we had the entire original Uncharted trilogy, and then The Last of Us, the very first one, in 2013. Like, such an output from a big AAA studio these days is simply unfathomable. So now we just get these long gaps where there's just, you know, a team working on one game, and then they maybe put out maybe 2 games in a generation if we're lucky. Again, Insomniac are really truly wizards in just how they've managed to pull this off and put out as many games as they have this generation so far. Going hand in hand, though, with the long development time of games now is the fact that games are also really expensive to make, and companies are being more risk averse when it comes to these AAA games that they're putting out. You know, it's like, why take a chance on these new unproven single player IPs that'll cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make, when they could also just instead put that same amount of money towards a reliable IP that makes bank, or a live service game in the hopes that the live service game will be a smash hit and then, just be this constant source of revenue, similar to how Fortnite is for Epic Games. And then there's also the fact that as much as PlayStation higher ups, they say that, they embrace the creativity and that their teams have, and they embrace that creative process and encourage them, to make things that they're passionate about. At the end of the day, this is a business. So I'm not going to be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a bit of pressure on the development teams, whether that be from the developers themselves or from the higher ups, to focus on, more so on proven ideas and franchises instead of taking breaks from those franchises to do something different, do something brand new. And that's the thing. I want developers to be passionate and make games that they are passionate about. So if that means we end up with Naughty Dog working on The Last of Us for a decade plus, then so be it. That's what they're passionate about, and I want them to make what they're passionate about, because we're not going to get good games if a team is making something that they're not passionate about, that their heart isn't really in. So I want that to be very clear. The Last of Us, it is one of my favorite series of all time. So if we're getting 10 plus years of The Last of Us, I'm down for it as long as there's a story to tell. I'm down for it. It is what it is. But at the same time, these heavy hitting teams, again, from PlayStation, I want to see them flex their muscles and just show me something I haven't seen before from them. Again, with Naughty Dog, let me see you guys give me a Naughty Dog story in a sci-fi setting, or a modern day stealth focused adventure game of some sort from Sony Santa Monica. Let me get a high fantasy game from Guerrilla. Literally anything, literally anything that is brand new from these teams would be such a breath of fresh air for not just me and not just fans or developers, but also for the PlayStation brand just as a whole. Because like I mentioned before, again, one of the things that PlayStation really prides itself on is, the constant creation of new IPs, new ideas, pushing boundaries and all. Think about it. We wouldn't have gotten Ghost of Tsushima without first having Infamous or Sly Cooper. There is no Horizon or Last of Us without Killzone or Jak and Daxter first. So and while I do miss many of those old franchises and would love to see some of them come back, specifically Jak and Daxter, I would love to see new Jak and Daxter. I'm happy that those teams moved on from them and tried something different. We wouldn't have gotten some of these absolutely amazing franchises without these teams doing something different. And, it doesn't help when we've seen the closures of so many first-party studios in recent years, such as London Studio this past February, Pixel Opus closed last year, Japan Studio got absorbed into Team Asobi in 2021. And when you have less teams, that means there's fewer chances for new ideas to come about and flourish and thrive. And in this era where game development is taking so much longer than ever, and new IPs could really revitalize the PlayStation brand for both people inside and outside the ecosystem who have seen these same games from these studios for years now and are man, I've seen God of War for a while. I know whether or not it's my cup of tea. I wish I could see something new from this team who makes this game that is constantly getting just all these accolades and all these awards and so on and so forth. So, this is why I've actually been so excited by some of the new games we've received from PlayStation Studios in recent years. Returnal is still arguably the best first party game to come out this generation. It's still a top 5 game for me, possibly even top 3 to be quite honest. Astro's Playroom, which while it technically is a sequel of sorts in a way, it's a short but fun romp that's it's just bursting with creativity. And I don't play too many live service games. They're not really my cup of tea. They're not really my bag. I'm not excited either at the prospect of a bunch of them coming from PlayStation Studios. I am still interested in Fair Games and Concord coming from Haven and Firewalk respectively, solely because of the fact that they're new ideas. There's something we haven't seen yet from PlayStation Studios, and they're gonna breathe some new life into the brand. Days Gone's developer, Ben Studio, they've been working on a new IP, and I'm eager to find out what that is. Who knows what it's going to be. There's so much here that is going on with PlayStation's first party studios. And, at the end of the day, this is all coming from a place of love, a place of someone who's passionate about games, passionate about the studios, who loves the games that they've made, the stories that they've told, the characters that they've introduced, the worlds they've created. I've loved all of them, and I hate to see them kind of pigeonholed into being in those same universes for years and years and years and years on end. I want to see new things from them. I want to just experience new stories. I want to have my horizons broadened into new universes by these teams. So summer's around the corner. It's coming up soon. Summer Game Fest is coming up, and there are all these rumors spreading that we're going to be getting some sort of PlayStation event this coming May. Be that a state of play or a full-blown showcase, who knows? Nothing's set in stone right now. Nothing's confirmed. Whatever it is, though, I honestly hope that at this event, whatever it is, or if we get 2 events, I just hope that we see what some of these teams are working on, especially because we haven't heard from some of these teams in a long time. So it's definitely long overdue to hear what some of these teams are working on. But I hope that when we do, we finally see new ideas when they step up to the plate, that we're not seeing the old reliables. I hope that we're seeing some brand new faces. What do you all think, though? Let me know down in the comment section below. How do you all feel about PlayStation's Eternal Studios? Do you feel like they've been stagnant the past couple years in terms of what we've been getting from them, or have you been totally fine with it and you just want more of what we've been getting? Let me know down in the comment section below. Let's talk about it. Make sure you leave a like on this video as well. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way you know as soon as new videos go live. I've been Tyler. This is The Comfy Spot, and we'll talk next time. Have a good one.